Hello, welcome back. Happy Sunday. I was actually going to film a completely different video today, and then I remembered it's a full moon tomorrow. And because we've been talking a little bit about the law of attraction and manifesting this month, because my word for January is intention, I thought I should probably cover, do I believe that the moon cycles are a thing? Do I have a ritual? What do I take from it? All of what I do in terms of manifesting and law of attraction, I consider to be quite grounded in reality compared to a lot of the things that I've watched. I will watch videos about moon rituals and I'm like this is a lot. We're burning things, we're with crystals, we're making moon water. It all feels like a lot. And I have to say, a lot of the time I have felt compelled to buy things. When I've watched things about manifesting and I've watched things specifically about particular rituals, I've been really pushed to, oh, well, you need this kind of crystal, or you need a special kind of whatever, and I need all of this stuff to be able to do these rituals. I'm not into that. Again, as I've said in previous videos, I take what I want from the buffet that is the law of attraction. I take what I think is going to be good for me and I leave what I don't. And so I'm not going to be encouraging anyone to go out and buy something special for this. I just want to share what I do and why, and I'm also going to put my makeup on at the same time because I am running late. So first things first, as I've said before, I want to be able to make this kind of accessible to everyone, whether or not you believe there is a magic in the universe or not. And I think a lot of this stuff can be applied regardless. You don't have to believe in the law of attraction for these things to work for you. So if you're talking about manifesting in general, I personally think that we don't, again, I said this previously as well, but I don't know if this is a cultural thing because we're British, and so maybe it's because we're brought up to be kind of humble and you don't want to have too much for yourself and you're not supposed to want them for more than you have, or what. But I think especially for me, I have never wanted to say out loud, this is what I want, because it's the same thing as like wishes on a birthday cake as well, isn't it? Don't tell people what you want because then it won't come true. But that also extends to almost, you don't want to say it to yourself because you don't want to be disappointed if it doesn't come true. Let's say it was a job and you really, really want this job. When you apply for the job, you don't tend to tell people, oh, I've applied for my dream job. I've applied for this job, and if I get this job, I'll be so happy. You tend to tell people, oh, I've applied for this job. I don't really care if I get it. I've just, it's not really that important to me. It could be super important, but you don't even really want to admit to yourself that it's super important, because then you won't be able to, down the line, say, oh, well, I didn't really want that job anyway. Because you've said it. You've said it to other people. You've said it to yourself. And that is disappointing. But it's also embarrassing because people know how important it was to you. And so in not saying it out loud, we're trying to protect our feelings. I totally get that. But I think the practice of manifesting, if you want to cut out all of the magic, is teaching yourself that it's okay to want more than you have right now. Sometimes things don't work out. It just is what it is. But if we downplay how much we want something, then we tend to aim lower and lower because we don't want to aim higher, because we don't want that disappointment and we don't want that embarrassment. So if we do just take everything else away, then really it is just steadily you trying to break down that wall and allowing you to be honest with yourself about what you actually want. And whether that be I'm saying it out loud, I'm writing it down, I'm telling someone this is what I want, that's hard to do. Now for me, I don't manifest absolutely all the time. I don't have a full moon ritual, a new moon ritual. I don't have anything where I'm like, every single time this happens, I do this. I don't have a weekly thing where I write everything down. I don't have daily affirmations, none of that stuff. I fall on the law of attraction when I feel like I need it. Let's say I'm having a hard time. Let's say I'm thinking, oh my God, this thing that I'm going through is really difficult. I need something to help me get through it. And I have compared it in the past to religion, and I do really think that that is a great comparison, though I say so myself, because it is effectively a comfort for me. It's a faith. It's a way of getting through something that I feel is difficult to do by myself and feeling supported by something. No matter what that thing is, even if it's just myself, it's from within myself, I'm feeling like this practice helps me in that time where something is difficult for whatever reason. So I don't do this all the time, but let's say there's something that I'm struggling with, and I think I really just need like an end point or a beginning point. You know, like a new year, you get up on New Year's Day and you're full of, I mean, number one, probably hungover, but you're full of hope. It's a new year. Everything that was difficult last year has the potential to be easier this year. The new moon or the beginning of the month or whatever it is I decide to do in terms of manifesting, that is what that is for me. The new moon, the full moon, the whatever. The same way that for some people, you know, an exercise regimen or something has to start on a Monday. For me, I need some kind of date. And it's an arbitrary date, but it is a date all the same. And so I will follow it and I'll be like, right, let's say I'm having a hard time with something or I'm just kind of in a bit of a low point. I'll Google, when is the next full moon? Monday, the 17th of January. So if I've got something that I want to get rid of, let's say I'm in a low period or I'm struggling with a relationship or I feel like there's something weighing on me, what I would do is write that thing down and then I burn it. You could call this a ritual if you wish. For me, it feels very cathartic. People have done this many times with no magical connotations. It feels like you are drawing a line under it. You're getting rid of that feeling, that whatever it is. I write the thing down, I burn it outside. And much like a New Year's resolution, it's just kind of like into the ether. Obviously, that doesn't make it go away. But something about the ritual of burning it, writing it down, letting it go, helps me. I do also have a book, which of course has a moon on it. I bought this specifically, I know, because I was watching all these videos and they were like, you have to have a special book. You don't have to have a special book. You do not have to have a special book. If a special book makes you feel better, then great. But otherwise, go and get any book and write something down in it. It doesn't have to be a new book, a new pen, a new whatever. Don't feel that you need a special crystal. I do think the act of writing things down, journaling even, really, really helps me. Writing things down and getting them all out. Writing things down and getting rid of them in whatever way you like to. In this book, I have written some things that I want. The last time I wanted to do it was November time, so I've got a list of things that I wanted to achieve in the next 6 months or that I wanted to happen in the next 6 months. Now, in my experience, because I talked a little bit about this in vision boards as well, in that video that I made last week, in my experience, writing something down and never ever looking at it again is not a useful practice for me. It doesn't do very much if I write something down and forget about it. Whereas loads of people, Oprah included, say that you have to let it go, never think of it, and then it will come to you. That is not my experience. And so although they may be the rules of the law of attraction, my point in all of the content that I'm going to make about this is I believe that although there is some kind of magic in the universe, manifesting happens within you. If you can't get on board with something someone's saying, if you watch something or you read something about the law of attraction and you're like, that sounds like nonsense, I don't think that's true, it's never going to work for you. It has to be something that you believe in, and especially when it's something that you are trying to achieve yourself, I think it has to be something that helps you believe in yourself and helps you believe that you can achieve something or that something will happen for you. And so writing something down and never looking at it is not helpful. I tend to write things down in kind of the same way that I write them down and burn them. When I write them down when I'm manifesting, I find that it works more in a way of like it would if I was journaling. So I will sit down, write everything down that I need, everything down that I feel will improve my life. And I think that particular act helps me understand in that moment, these are the things that I'm struggling with. These are like, because it really sit down and you go, right, what would solve my problems? And that really helps to pinpoint what you think your problems are. And sometimes a little bit of distance, you write that down, you come back a week later and you look at it and you think, I don't think those things would solve those problems. Or you think of another way of solving those problems, but it's not necessarily the things that you're asking for. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes when you have a conversation with a friend, you have that kind of back and forth and you'll say, well, I feel this way. And they might be able to offer, oh, well, you probably feel this way because of this. And you just hadn't had it because you hadn't said it out loud. For me, journaling of any kind, writing something down like this, is almost like a conversation with myself. I say it, I then look back at it and think, oh, I see this completely differently now. It's as if someone else has said this to me, and I feel more that I understand the problem, and that in itself is a weight lifted. But I do think that if I am going to manifest something, because I do still believe that if I say something out into the universe and I see something all the time, things happen, things do happen. I have said, I mean, it's just such a stupid story. I've been multiple stories I have shared over the years, but one of the really silly ones that I've often said, if I was to write an autobiography, it would be called How a T-Shirt Changed My Life. I went to the opening of a Taco Bell, which is very on brand for me. Let me put on my lipstick because otherwise I'll never do it. Quick note on this. This is the Glossier blotted lip. I had the old formula of this and I bought the new one because the packaging was so much better. The other one was like all plastic and just not great. It kind of fell apart, the packaging. The packaging is so much better now, but the lipstick itself like tastes horrible. It's not as good. The lipstick's not as good. It's called Zip. I do really like the colour and I like the kind of translucent, but it's still bright. Anyway, so I went to Taco Bell. It was the first day that it opened in my town. I was very excited and I kept saying to people, I'm going to go on the opening day because it says that the first 100 people get a t-shirt. And everyone laughed at me. Nobody wanted to come. And I got there. I dropped the kids off at school. I got there. I think it was opening at 10 and I got in the queue. I actually was quite surprised that there was a queue because so everyone had just been like, this is a ridiculous thing that you're doing. I almost thought I was going to be the only one there. I was definitely 10 years older than the oldest person in that line. But I stood there, probably on my phone the whole time, and waited for it to open. And the people around me started kind of chuntering about the t-shirts. Because I wanted one of these t-shirts. I wanted one of these t-shirts badly. They started talking about the t-shirts and they'd been handed out and they were numbered. And they were trying to work out what number t-shirt they might get from the beginning of the queue to where they were. Well, maybe it'll be this. Now, I at the time was 32 and I just thought, wouldn't it be amazing if I got the number 32? Like, just wouldn't that be magical? Didn't really think much else of it. I'm on my own, I'm not talking to anyone else. I can kind of hear whispers of people in front of me were guessing kind of in the 50s. So I'm like, so this is not going to happen, but you know, wouldn't that be amazing? And then I was even thinking, I could ask someone to swap with me. If someone else got it, maybe they would swap with me. Why? Who am I? I'm not going to approach teenagers and ask them to swap. That would never have happened. But, you know, the thought crossed my mind. And then I went back to Instagram. So we're getting closer and closer and closer. And I'm noticing the numbers that are being given out. I'm like, ooh, we're actually kind of, this is almost, I could kind of almost be around that number. The person in front of me got their t-shirt. I came to the front. There was no one there. The guy that was handing out the t-shirts had walked away. And I stood in front of the pile of t-shirts and the t-shirt on the top was number 32. I got this t-shirt. They gave it to me. We also got a free taco, which was a little bit amazing as well. I got my t-shirt. I got my taco. And I walked out of the shop because I was going to sit inside and eat. And I felt like I was kind of almost vibrating. It was so weird. I walked out of the shop and just kind of like wandered around looking for somewhere else to sit and sat down. And I just felt like I was like glowing. And it was such a stupid, tiny, minor thing. But in that moment, I felt like something had happened. I felt like something significant. And it is a stupid story if you don't think that that is possible. It sounds like nonsense. It's ridiculous. I sound like a maniac. But I'm just telling you that I felt something. And so little things like that have happened to me that feel like they're of no consequence have just instilled something in me that makes me feel like there's something more than coincidence going on in the world. Of course, that could have been a coincidence, but I choose to believe that it was more than a coincidence. So tomorrow, when it is the full moon, I will be writing some things down that I feel have been weighing on me and burning them to get rid of them, to try to feel rid of them. That's not going to work for everyone. I'm telling you, that's what I do because I feel like it helps to lighten the mental load. I will also be writing some things down in my manifestation journal, because I think that in that I find things that I wanted or things that I'm hoping for that maybe I hadn't really admitted to myself. Maybe, if that's true, I'll make a little pin of it and I'll put it on my vision board. A photo, a note, something to myself to remind me this came up and this is now also something I want to focus on. Or it will just help me to work some things out. And then I close the book and I put it in a drawer and I don't look at it again until I choose to do something with it. I really only do this when I feel like I need to. And it's very, very personal. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is how you have to do it. Far from it. What I want you to get from the stuff that I share about this is that it is very, very much up to you how you choose to use this, if you do. And if you want to go all in for crystals, and I mean, I do have a story about crystals. I'll share it with you. If you want to go all in on that, go for it. But for me, I have some crystals and I have felt that they have done things in the past, but it's not something that I'm like, oh, I have to buy a special crystal for a special thing or this won't happen. It's again more of a, as and when I feel I will benefit from it, I'll try something different, you know? Right, so I've got a crystal story. My mum used to be really into crystal healing, which is so like off-brand for my mum. She's not really anymore. And it was kind of like a phase of life that she was into this stuff. And she has a lot of crystals and a lot of books and stuff that she's given to me. She actually gave them to Milo originally because Milo likes collecting things that look attractive, you know, pretty, sparkly things. So I was going through these crystals when I was getting quite into the law of attraction a couple of years ago and learning a little bit about them all. And I had some that I just kept in my handbag. Didn't really think anything of it, never used them for anything. And then we were out for dinner and Milo wasn't feeling very well. He's tended to have, I think it's an anxiety thing, nausea. He's concerned about nausea and has a phobia, I would say at this point, of being sick. It's happened so few times in his life, but it's really, really, he's nervous to eat things and will have just a feeling of nausea. And I think it probably is anxiety based. Anyway, we were out for dinner and he couldn't eat anything and he said he was feeling not great. And I gave him this crystal that was in my handbag, just happened to be in there. I honestly don't even know why I had it in my bag. I can't remember the purpose of why I had it in my bag, but I did. It was very, very small. It was a tiger's eye, so a little like orange with a stripe through it. And I gave him that one specifically because I knew what it was called. And I said to him, this, if you hold it in your hand, this will help you with your nausea. I said, this absolutely will do something. Now, it's important to know the context here that in my house, I am magical. I can perform magical acts. It has been proven. Everyone's seen me do it. We've done lots of things that have been magical. I'm now realising, actually, that we've been manifesting for his entire life accidentally, because I love magic. I think magic is so fun, and especially for children, I love the belief that literally anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible, and I will try to maintain that in my children as long as possible. So it would seem that I have been manifesting with Milo since he was born, because he'll want something. Let's say he wants a toy or he wants a something to happen on his game or whatever. We'll hold hands and close eyes and we say, I believe in magic 3 times. He actually came downstairs the other day when my friends were here and he put his hands out. And I knew immediately, it had been so long since we'd done it. And we held hands and said, I believe in magic. And this does something. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes he wants something to happen on a game and we'll do this thing and it happens on the game. Is it a coincidence? We believe in magic. So we do things like that. And so it's not completely beyond the realm of possibility in Milo's mind that I'm giving him a crystal and this can help him. So he's holding this crystal in his hand. And I said, just hold it in your hand. Just kind of hold it in your hand and just wait. We'll keep eating. You just see how you feel when you're holding this crystal in your hand. Within 5 minutes, he said he felt completely better and he ate all of his food. Now, of course, that could be psychosomatic, which I'm all for as well. I don't care if these things are psychosomatic if they get results. But I Googled shortly after, properties of tiger's eye, or like what it does. It uses the same word, not to repeat myself, but it says, a stone of protection, tiger's eye may bring good luck to the wearer, has power to focus the mind, promoting mental clarity, assisting us to resolve problems objectively, unclouded by emotions, particularly useful for healing psychosomatic illnesses, dispelling fear and anxiety. I gave him the stone. I didn't think that would really do anything. I thought, I'm just, convincing him it will do something, and hopefully it will do something in his mind. When it worked, I just thought, I wonder what it's actually supposed to do. Googled it while we were at the dining table, and it just blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. Could be nonsense, could be complete coincidence, but these little things have embedded in my mind, and they have made me a stronger believer that something out there could be working in our favour. And again, I only take the positive. I'm not going to take anything where I feel like that's going to have a negative impact, or that I've got too much responsibility in this kind of like magical, weird world. But if I feel like something like this could have a positive impact in that moment, it's not like I want to become dependent on something like that. This is what I'm really trying to get across. Don't think that we need to be becoming reliant on anything, or becoming like, oh God, something terrible is going to happen if you don't do this. But if you can find little nuggets of comfort and support and just general ease from some of this stuff, then why would you not? I'm open to it is all. So I wanted to kind of just share with you what the moon thing is to me, whether or not I have any rituals. I suppose it could be classed as a ritual, but I'm not like burning sage or anything like that. I'm not bathing my crystals in moonlight. A lot of what I've seen feels like really heavy. And I think, in another time in my life, maybe I'll feel like I need something heavier. Right now, it's all very kind of light, and I just take the little things when I feel like I need them, and I do not feel ever that if I don't do something, something bad will happen, or something won't happen because I haven't done something. It's just an extra little bit of comfort for me. So hopefully this was useful or interesting for those of you who maybe are thinking about doing something like this, but it all feels like a lot, because I get it. Realise this topic is not for everyone, but I think a lot of people are interested and they want to hear it in a more reality-based way, which is how I felt, because everything feels so beyond. It's not kind of, when they say for beginners, it still feels very deep end. Even though it's like baby steps, this is how you do it. It feels very like you have to be all in immediately to get on board with this, and I find that really difficult. So hopefully this was useful for you guys. And I will be back on Wednesday with a makeup storage and organisation video, back to our roots.